how has your background in trauma and ER specifically designed the prototypes of this? Like, what's broken in the scrub market? Let's start there.
So in the beginning of my career, when we go to the scrubs uniform stores to buy scrubs, specifically for men, when you walk into a scrub store, majority of the inventory, about 75% of the inventory is all, for women because it's a woman dominated market. Now for the
I
guys,
did
when you
not know
walk
that, by the way. I did not know that.
so like if you go into those stores, you'll see there's just like one small section for men. And, in the beginning of my career, like, it's kind of a little frustrating. It's like, why do we have this one little shelf, for us, there's not much variety out there. So this has always been like a problem I saw since the beginning of my career. And it wasn't until recently I just figured like, why don't I take that step and add one more men's item to that shelf, in the meantime. So about 3 years ago, the idea popped into my head. I was always struggling with that fact that there's very little variety for men. And then 3 years ago, the idea popped into my head. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something about it. So the whole purpose of my brand is to basically have a blend of a scrub that kind of is military inspired, but for men that are in the field that we just don't have much variety out there.
Okay. Are there constraints on what colors you're allowed to wear in a given hospital?
Yes. So a lot of hospitals, they have specific colors that depending on what area you work in. So a lot of nurses, they typically wear navy blue. Some hospitals, they can wear a royal blue or a white. Respiratory therapists would have their own color. Paramedics would have their own color. PCT or other departments like radiology would have their own color. But from my experience, the bulk is like black and navy blue and royal blue
Okay.
and gray.
Okay, so that's why you started with those colors and the initial
Correct.
prototype. Okay, and the second one. So then I'm just curious too, what would be the next color you would do past that? If you get that far, what would be?
So the next two colors I want to do is a royal blue and like a gray, charcoal gray.
Okay. So that represents the greatest majority of people out there taking.
Correct.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so what would you, if you had to summarize, what is the single biggest problem for your audience that this brand, your brand, and your product solves over the majority of the brands on the market?
So I think the main issue that it solves is no other brand has a scrub that you can kind of customize in a way. So for example, well, we have our badge reels. See, do I have mine with me? I don't have it here. But our badge reels, we customize those, right? So could be whatever you want. It could be a meme or just something that says nurse. That's the one thing we really customize with our scrubs. So how I incorporated like military style into scrubs for our military uniforms, we have our patches on our side,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Right.
that's one thing I incorporated into my scrubs. I placed a little bit of Velcro on the side so that instead of just being able to customize your scrub with your badge reel, you can put your whatever thing you want to do, nursing related or healthcare related on the side. You can even just have your title there. So that's the one thing that's different from any other